We are so excited to have Waterman's back as our season sponsor.
They are the perfect solution for straightforward legal advice.
We know lots of you pod piggies are buying your new homes, your first homes, so Waterman's are the perfect solution for all of your legal advice.
So for straightforward legal advice, remember Waterman's. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. It's another week of A Lot on Your Plate podcast.
The best podcast in the world, sisters.
With me, Zoe.
And me, Jessica.
We've got a really exciting episode for you this week. We have an amazing guest, very overdue, something we all need to learn about.
And something we've promised you for a very long time.
And it's going to be a good one.
And she's come all the way up from London.
Buckle up, sisters.
Buckle up, sisters. She is fabulous. She's everything that we had envisioned to come onto the podcast.
Absolutely.
She is an absolute boss babe. She is just having fun with it. It's just not too overwhelming. It's perfect. And we have learnt so much on today's episode and we're so excited to talk to you about it. But we have the amazing Georgia Ellen Smith on the podcast today.
Unbelievable.
She is a women's holistic health coach and founder of Balance Boss. She's helping powerhouse women find balance after experiencing severe burnout in her early 20s and being dismissed by the conventional medical system. Georgia took her health into her own hands. Through years of study and healing, she discovered the power of holistic wellness, nutrition, nervous system support, and hormone balance.
Wow.
Today, she helps women reclaim their health power through root cause healing to restore their vitality and truly thrive, baby. Blending science-backed wellness with a no bullshit approach, Balance Boss is a space for support, strategies, and sisterhood.
Oi, oi.
Where women reclaim their vibrant, unstoppable selves.
Just what we're all about.
Woo!
That is what this place is for.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get in and about it.
Let's fucking go. Also, before we do that, remember to like, subscribe, comment. Please give us your feedback in this episode because it's really important to us and we want to share it with Georgia as well. And if there's any other guests you would like us to get on, please let us know.
Agree. We have honestly built this podcast for you. This is a community-based podcast and we now have access, luckily, to anyone you possibly want. We will try our very best and please give us feedback, comment anything if it's been helpful to you or anything that you would like us to look into. We have the access to try and get them on the pod.
Yeah. Georgia also let us know, by the way, that if you want to hear about anything in more depth or if you've got your own situation you want to chat to her about, you can DM her and she'll try and help you as much as possible. Obviously, you can actually get her services as well, but she's happy to just chat a wee bit with you all as well, just because we can only fit so much in.
So bloody kind.
So anyway, buckle up and enjoy.
And she has also stayed over on the Side Dish episode as well. So if you'd like to subscribe to Patreon, she has stayed on and answered all of your burning questions. Okay, I'll stop rambling on now and I'll introduce you to the Queen herself. Georgia, welcome to the pod.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm so excited. It's my first pod, so be easy on me.
You will be, don't you worry. How was it? How was the journey?
Journey was fine. Yeah, I had my nice little setup on the train. I'm glad I went for the train because you can just get on with stuff, can't you? Just
do a bit of both.
Yeah.
Airport and everything.
Yeah. First time to Glasgow?
First time to Glasgow.
Is it actually?
Yeah. I've only been to Scotland. Well, I actually think I'm half Scottish.
Right,
But I'm one of those people that says she's half anything. At
Yeah.
least.
Isn't everyone in the world half Scottish?
Depending on who you're speaking to.
Okay,
like,
so I'm
Italian.
actually half Scottish. I did the ancestry DNA thing.
Yeah.
And I am through the middle. I think it's half, I'm not sure if it's Scottish or Irish because my mum keeps
Changing your mind.
Changing my mind. I think she said it all links back to this place in Ireland, her side, but then that links back to this little place in Scotland. I think that's right.
I think that would make sense.
And then I'm half Dutch, but my dad's actually Kiwi, but his parents are Dutch.
Right.
So yeah, my mum's English and he's Kiwi technically.
What does Kiwi mean?
Oh, New Zealander. Yeah, New Zealander.
I've never heard that.
What?
Oh, really?
Kiwi's just a fruit to me.
And your sister lives here.
Yes. So she lives in the south side. So I came up last night and we went for a nice walk around Queen's Park. Is that right?
Yes.
It's lovely. Got so much greenery. Lovely to see all the hills in the background. And we went for dinner at this place called Made from Grapes. And I
couldn't believe your stories. I was like, what the
I've
heck?
never heard of that.
It looks gorgeous.
It's very edgy.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Super
I liked
hipster.
it. There's big jars of fermented pickles. So I was like, this is my place.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love a pickle.
So I had a big bowl of pickles.
Sardines on the
Sardines.
toast. Sourdough toast.
Sardines, underrated fish. Every woman should be eating them.
I love them.
we should be swapping our tuna for our sardines more often.
Hear that, Zoe?
What? I love tuna.
I try and tell
Yeah.
this stuff all the time. I had a smoothie this morning with kiwi, the skins on.
Amazing.
Although your boyfriend, Jason, has that and he eats it like an apple.
I've done it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
eat it like an apple.
It's
Yeah.
nice.
I would do all the things. I just need direction.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't think to just fling that in there.
Yeah.
Well, this is why you're on the podcast.
But I'm the sort of person that when I finish an apple, I've just got that little bit that sticks out at the top of it. Like, I just eat
Seriously?
the whole
So you eat the
thing.
whole,
yeah.
all the seeds and all the
all
core?
of it.
What?
Okay, maybe I should
know.
start doing that as well then.
It's hard.
And pears and everything. It came from a laziness of not wanting to go to the bin.
Like, serious?
You can just fling the wee
Yeah.
stick somewhere and nobody will notice.
Well, I mean, like, you can sort of put that there and deal with it later. But like, and then I was like, actually, no, this is good. Just get all of the fibre and So.
Fibre is good. I said this to Zoe a couple of weeks ago because I've really been trying to switch things up and I've been focusing purely on, well, not purely, mainly on fibre and protein and good fats. And I'm switching things up a lot. I'm having chia seeds every single day, skins
Amazing.
on, just really focusing on things and helping my digestive system, you know.
And how have you found it? What was
Amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel so much better.
And your skin's glowing. So
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So often people just think of like their digestion system when they're thinking about looking after their gut, but your gut and your liver are your detox pathways. So like if you're not looking after those, then toxins aren't getting out of your body correctly. So also, that's going to sharpen your face, your skin, your hair, everywhere like that. So yeah.
Maybe that was that Skinny Confidential eye roll I was using this morning.
Exactly. That will also help, yeah. Inflammation.
Right. Tell us a little bit because honestly, we said this a little bit in the intro, but we have wanted to get somebody to come on the podcast for years now. We can say years because it's been
since we started, really, isn't it?
Because we'll tell you a little bit about it, but before I had Jensen, I used to speak a lot about PCOS or my fertility, and I was a little bit concerned. Never that I wasn't saying I was actively trying to have a child at all, but I did buy a fertility test, wasn't it? It was like a fertility test. Never ended up taking it because you'll think I'm pathetic, but I was too scared to prick my finger. It was actually ridiculous. So it was pinning me down in the bathroom one day. Anyway, it never happened. But when I said it on the podcast, the amount of people that wanted to know about PCOS, wanted to know about if I ever did the test, and just in general, because I'm quite into health and food, and we get a lot of questions about it. But we're not qualified. So I can say what I know and research and what I find works for me. And then I ended up getting pregnant. But we just thought it'd be perfect to get you on because suck that knowledge out of your gorgeous glowy forehead then. Right. So how did you get into your line of work? Tell us everything.
Yeah, okay. So my journey into holistic health really began in my teens. I went on the contraceptive pill when I was about 15, 16. Not for contraceptive reasons, but because I was going to Reading Festival and I didn't want to have a period in tent. So all us girls were like, let's go on the pill, let's get rid of it.
Yay!
And it really sort of hijacked my body. I put on a lot of weight very quickly. I was I'm a tall girl. I was like just a slim girl. I was probably a size 8 and I went up to like almost a 14 probably size. Nothing wrong with that, but obviously a big change in my body overnight. Sort of. And this is massive months, like quickly. This is also at a time when you're like navigating turning into a woman anyway, and you've got all of those stresses of body image when you're in a teens anyway. So it wasn't great. My mood wasn't great. I definitely felt a difference in sort of like my anxiety, my moods and everything. Not that I probably even knew what anxiety meant back then, but you know. And I remember like breaking down in tears in a car park once with my mum, just being like, because I wouldn't eat anything because I was like so scared of putting more weight on. And I came off that pill and I went on a different one. It's not like I even came off, because obviously they were just like, well, here's another one then.
Yeah, try that one.
They didn't really have any answers for me. They were just like, here's another pill. And then I did start to like really think about my diet and get into a better exercise routine and all of this. So like I then started to follow the routines of Australian Instagram models because Instagram was taking off at this time.
Yes.
So and Australia's always been a bit ahead of the curve in terms of what they were eating. So, all the avocado toast and everything that's obviously just normal now was not so much then, but sweet potatoes, avocados, chia seeds, all these sort of things are obviously more common now. And I really found like a passion for it. And it was actually pretty healthy. Like I really liked it. The weight started to come off. I really got into I used to go to the gym before school and I was getting myself into like a really good habit. Then I went to university and that's when it all started to become less healthy.
Yeah.
So my parents broke up and went through quite a messy separation when I was at uni. I also had not the most romanticised version of university. We go there and it's all just like, oh, freshers week and everyone's like loads and loads and loads of friends. Didn't really find my feet that well. So I went home quite a lot, but when I went home, it was very chaotic.
Yeah.
So like all of the stresses of life I found, and then the stresses of just doing a degree and everything. And my mum had a breakdown and turned to addiction. So there was just a lot going on, right? And that is when it became an obsession.
Okay.
And it was disordered eating. Like it never got diagnosed as eating disorder, but it was masked a lot by like fitness and things like that. But yeah. I was like, then it was a bit of a vicious cycle because I didn't want to go out with my friends. The few friends I did have at uni, I would be like so scared to even leave the house and have an alcoholic drink of how much calories it was in it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm sad for that girl looking back that she like lost those years.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was having regular periods. Because I was on the pill, but I was having regular periods, so I thought in my head. So I was like, oh, I'm healthy, whatever, it's all good. Left uni, went into PR, which is a notoriously very stressful career, made worse by the fact I was working for like a complete narcissist. And it was like he threw me deep, like way in the deep end. And I was like highly stressed constantly working. I was travelling up from Kent to London back and forth every day, which is just a stressful commute.
How old are you at this point?
So when I've left uni, 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, 4 years into that, I did come off the pill in that time, probably like maybe a year or so before I started to like investigate what was going on. I came off the pill, but at this point I was, I don't know, like 5% body fat, like very low, 8% something. Women, just to let you all know, like women shouldn't really go below 18 before our hormones start to sort of dysregulate. We need fat in our bodies to be able to produce estrogen and our sex hormones and everything like that. So you can see where this is going. But anyway, I came off the pill and I wasn't having periods. I was also having panic attacks like regularly. And I don't know if any of you or any of your listeners had panic attacks, but like it actually feels like you're gonna die. So that was really scary. So I started to like look into it a little bit more. And then I went to the doctors and I was just like, look, I'm not having periods. I feel like maybe this isn't right. And they were like, oh, you're probably just too skinny, put some weight on. And I was like,
classic.
Right, okay. I was like, well, okay, but can you just, and also like I didn't see myself as that either at the time. So that's also like psychologically not what you should be sort of treating women as. Like, as if that flippant comment is just gonna, they're gonna go and do that. But yes, I want more tests. So they did blood tests, came back normal. And I was like, okay, well, can you, and I'm sure a lot of your listeners will be hearing that, oh, they're all normal, you're fine. And I was like, okay, well, I want to like investigate more. They're like, okay, we'll book you in for an ultrasound or an internal scan. And I was like, right, okay. At this point, I'd obviously, Google was my friend, or foe probably. But I'm Googling things. And you were talking about PCOS, so I'd read up on PCOS, and I was like, right, okay, well, this was pretty much the only thing that was coming up at the time for like why you might have an irregular period. So I was like, right, okay, maybe I've got that, but that seems really scary because like everything was just telling you really scary things if you had PCOS. Like, you're going to really struggle to conceive, you might grow body hair in all these places, you're going to put weight on. And I was like, oh my God, like what's going on? So I was like, right. So anyway, I went and had these scans and they just weren't speaking to me. They were like, the woman was doing this scan in this hospital and I was like, what's going on? Like there's no hand holding through the whole process. No. So it's quite a long-winded story, but it all sort of comes at the end. And she was looking and she was like, right, yeah, okay, there looks like some cysts on there. So I'm immediately like, okay, I've got PCOS. And I was like, oh, well, how many? And then I had questions, as you would. And she was like, don't ask me questions, save those for your doctor. And I was like,
what?
And I was like, right, okay. And I was like, well, does it look like I might have PCOS ovaries? And she was like, well, yeah, maybe, but you have to discuss that with your doctor, not me. And I was like, wow. So I left, obviously, really upset, feeling even more lost. Then went to my doctor. He was like, on his laptop, or not laptop, whatever it was. And he was like, oh, yeah, probably polycystic ovaries. Yeah, okay. I was like, right. And I was like, so I had loads of questions. So I started asking questions. Okay, so what does that mean? Is there treatments? What's my protocols, next steps, etc. I've heard that it's bad for fertility. I've heard this, like, can you help, like, And he was like, do you want to get pregnant right now? And I said, no. And he went, well, don't worry about it then.
I can't even go.
No. He said, don't worry about it then. Come back when you want to. And I went, right. And then I said, well, is it going to be, well, will I struggle to feed? He said, maybe, but some people don't, some people do. I was like, right.
Because that's not a big deal at all, by the way.
Right. And then I asked some more, and then he went, well, if you're worried, just go back on the pill. And I was like, right, well, none of this is quite making sense, because I'm pretty sure the pill, I was like, was the pill the reason that I didn't have periods? Like, I was just so lost. None of us knew anything about it, right? And then he goes, anyway, 10 minutes up, leave my office, literally. I left very upset again. And my mum, bless her, was like, advocated for me, and I'm so grateful that she was there to like advocate for me, because really we're supposed to believe everything our doctors say, but you know, sometimes we just, and this is part of my mission, is to just empower women to advocate for themselves, ask questions, and don't take no as an answer. I've actually got some tools that I give people the questions to ask when they're in those situations. Because you can feel so lost. And obviously also what happens in those, they're stressful environments. So when you're in that stressful environment, your body goes into fight or flight, and that is literally shuts off all your sort of like thinking and everything.
You're just quite uptight.
Often, you're just like, oh my God, you know, when you leave those situations, you go, oh, I should have asked this, should have asked that.
Yeah.
It happens when you have a fight with someone, and you're just like, why didn't I say that? And then you're like, because you were in the sort of like traumatic experience. Anyway, she was like, a man will never understand, like you just said. A man will never understand what it feels like as a woman to be told that like you might have a reproductive issue. So I'm going to pay for you to go private, and I'm going to go. And we found this woman who actually had a functional medicine approach, which is similar to holistic health approach. And wow, she changed my life.
Could you also just explain to our listeners what holistic health approach is?
Yes.
Because Zoe asked the question as well.
Yes, absolutely. So holistic health is your health, like, as a whole. So it's every pillar of your health. So that's your diet and your lifestyle, your diet, your exercise, your relationships with people, your toxins, your environment, your history of trauma, like all sorts of different things that can build up you as a person and go into your life. So people might come up to me, your sleep, your stress, everything. People come to me, they might be like, right, I need to lose 10 pounds or something. And I've tried everything in the book, and I'm eating this and I'm eating that. And like on paper, they look like they were eating the perfect diet, but you know, their sleep's a mess, or they've got a really stressful relationship, or they hate their work, or there's something even more deep rooted, some like traumatic experience from childhood or something. I don't know if you've ever heard of the book, The Body Keeps the Score, but it's an incredible book, and I feel like it's one of those sort of, I know there's lots of book
life-changing ones.
Yeah. And we hold on to so much repressed like emotions and trauma, and that comes out in all sorts of areas. So people are struggling with gut issues, and they're trying all these probiotics, they're doing this, whatever, but there's other things that we need to get out. So like holistic health is not just what your bloods are saying or what this is saying, but what's really going on in your whole as you, as a multidimensional person and a bio-individual person as well. Your biology, your individuality is unique, and that's what we take it as. So
amazing.
Yeah, so it's quite deep when someone comes to see someone in that practitioner, because it's not just superficial, it's not surface level, we go deeper. So anyway, I stepped into this office, and this woman was like, she had all my like bloods and everything in front of me. Oh, actually, sorry, main point before this, to get to see her, I had to have a referral letter from my doctor, and he sent the most passive-aggressive letter I've never. It was like, I don't know why Georgia's asking for this. I've told her everything she needs. That sort of tone. I just thought, I'm actually trying to like help myself here, and you're still dismissive.
Why does it affect you? Why is he bothered by that?
Why do you care?
Yeah.
Why do you care? You've had to write that you're an angry man. Like you've had to write that. Like your ego's bruised. I'm so sorry.
That's exactly it. It's the ego thing.
It's the ego, right?
His answer wasn't good enough.
But again, that could have stopped me. That almost stopped me.
Well, it will have stopped a lot of people.
Would have stopped other people. Would have stopped other people. Made them feel small again.
Yeah.
But my mum was like, ignore that. Like he's just like, again, she was like, it's bruised ego. Like we're going. And so this woman, I actually can't remember her name, which really upsets me because I'd love to give her a shout out, but maybe I could follow up afterwards. She was in Kent, and we had an hour together, and she didn't talk really anything about my bloods or anything like that. She had read them before I walked in the room, but she sat me down and she just said, hi, like, how are you? What's going on? And before I know it, I'm telling her like about my separation, my parent separation, what was going on like around my life, what had been going on and everything. And she was just like, Georgia, you don't have PCOS. Everything's going to be okay. And from that moment, you just feel like, oh, okay, thank you. And she was like,
instantly healed just by someone saying that to me.
But that is the power. She was like, it's going to be okay. And this isn't going to be a quick healing path. Like there's a few things here that we need to work together on. Your low body fat. But, she read through, we did then get into a bit more of the granular, but she was like, we're in a bit of a scary situation in some ways, because I had had such low body fat for so long, it messed my hormones so much that my womb had got into like a menopausal woman's like thinness, pretty much. How thin it was about the same amount as when a menopausal woman. The lack of estrogen in my body would have affected my bone health, all these sort of things. So she was like, if we don't sort of act now and get you on this healing path, then you could be in a wheelchair at the age of 30, sort of thing. So because of like osteoporosis and things like that, right? And I'm about 23 at this time, just to give you some context. The pill that he would have sent me on was a progesterone-only pill. So that really wouldn't have helped with it when I really needed estrogen in my body as well. So if I'd just taken his advice and carried on as normal and carried on my life, like, you know, I could have been in quite a dangerous situation. So anyway, we got on a path of healing, which meant building my relationship better with my body, my relationship with food, all of that, as well as sort of just finding balance again in all sorts of ways in my life. And that was in relationships. I moved to London. I cut out some toxic friendships that I had. I just started to really build a life on my own terms. Oh, I quit that job.
Thank God.
Thank God. I quit that job. So I removed that toxicity from him, from friendships. From just rebuilt my life on my own terms and in a space that really nurtured me. And it's not overnight, obviously. Started my own agency, and then had to navigate really the complexities of balancing this newfound self-worth and wellness to also running an agency and owning a business and hiring staff, and that still being in the never sleeping, quite hedonistic world of PR. But it is possible. So now I'm here. I decided as the agency has started to run itself to some degree, I've got an amazing team that run the day to day.
And this is the PR agency.
This is the PR agency, sorry, that I still own. That gave me the freedom or some time to go back to college, go back to school and study holistic health and then hormone health, and graduate as a women's holistic health and hormone coach. And I have created Balanced Boss, which is my coaching and community platform for high-performing, ambitious women that are looking to reclaim control of their health, but without losing their edge, without losing their spark, their joy, their ambition. Because I think nowadays, I was very sort of frustrated with the wellness industry of where it is on Instagram nowadays or social media. Lots of pastel-coloured Instagram feeds and 27-step morning routines and just very unrealistic lifestyles. And really sort of encouraging this extreme, restrictive, all-or-nothing mentality as well, which high-performing women are quite have a tendency to have this perfectionism, because it can also give us that drive constantly to get to the next. But it can also come up, rear its ugly head in other ways, which can be in sort of restrictive eating patterns or all or nothing mentalities. And then a lot of that beating themselves up when they haven't been able to do everything on their wellness list, when actually just doing something still works.
Yeah, I feel like I need to take some coaching from you, because I'm very all or nothing, and lists for me are a nightmare. I'll write a huge list, overwhelm myself, so I won't do any of it. It's awful. But then how good I feel if I just actually put it down to 5 things and tick them off. But my brain doesn't let me do it, because it's I need to offload it onto a list.
And that's absolutely fine. See, I actually have ADHD as well, to throw that in the mix. And I find that I have to get everything off my head. So otherwise I can't focus on the list. There'll be something that I have to do in a year's time that's in my head, and I'm like, oh. So often a tool that I use is just to do that. But then it's to take that list and put it into a realistic one. Yeah. And sometimes that might be one really small task that you can only manage that day, or one big task. And that's okay if you only managed to get that done that day, and then actually celebrate that win. And then the next day you can keep adding on to it. Because otherwise we end up just doing nothing, don't we, like you say? Mm-hmm. So working out and being kind to yourself and working out your own sort of rhythms as well. Yeah. And listening to ourselves as well. I think, again, with the noise of Instagram, we've lost touch with our intuition and our own guide. Yeah. So I help my clients as well. There's a slight spiritual side of it as well that comes from pausing, because we never pause anymore. Yeah. And actually sit with ourselves and think, okay, what does my body need, and what does my body react well to, and what do I want as well, and things like that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Amazing. Right.
I'm so inspired already.
Same.
Right, we'll get into some questions.
We've got a lot for you.
We do have a lot. So the first one being kind of hormone basics. What are some of the early signs that our hormones might be out of balance, and how can we spot them before they become a bigger issue?
Yeah, so there's loads of symptoms, but most of the common ones are irregular or no periods. Headaches, like extreme migraines, extreme PMS, bloating, constipation, acne. Yeah, a lot of those sort of symptoms come up a lot.
And what would be your advice for if someone's feeling like they've got one or quite a lot of them? Where should they go to kind of solve the issue?
Yeah, so obviously go to your doctor, have your bloods taken. But the problem is with bloods is that they only test for basic bloods.
Yeah.
Basic sex hormones.
So like overactive thyroid and things like that.
Yeah, they will
Blood
do
sugar.
that, and they'll do your obviously sex hormones like testosterone, progesterone, estrogen. But a doctor does a single point blood test, and as you know, your hormones change all the time, every day.
Yeah.
So it's not very reliant on overall. It's not very comprehensive. So I would always do a Dutch test with my clients, and you do have to get that privately. They won't do that at the doctors, but it's worth the investment if you do feel like something's out of balance. Because not only does that do a full spectrum, it also does like of all hormones, like like cortisol as well. It also does how they're metabolized throughout the body, which is really important because your body has a balance where it will excrete like additional hormones it doesn't need, and if that's not working properly, then you can get things like estrogen dominance, and estrogen dominance is usually rears its head in PMS specifically. So if you're getting really extreme PMS, then that can be a sign of estrogen dominance. So really heavy periods, really bad mood swings, anxiety, those sort of things. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then you get a personalised path to healing. Because also don't just, I'm always test, don't guess, because again, with social media, there is loads of information out there and everyone comes from a point of good. Like
they want to help.
They want to help. Like even myself, I'm really cautious not to give too much of like, oh, you should take this, Like try to be a bit more generic with things, or a bit of a disclaimer, because it's like everyone is so different.
Yeah.
So, and you might think, and also so many symptoms overlap to so many different things. So the reason I was misdiagnosed with PCOS was because the Rotterdam criteria, which is used, is that you have to have 2 out of 3 of the symptoms, which is irregular periods or no periods, cysts on your ovaries, and abnormal bloods, so abnormal hormones. And I didn't have those, the latter, but I had the others. But the cysts, actually, just because I wasn't ovulating. So cysts aren't actually like big, scary cysts. They're actually just follicles on your eggs that you haven't ovulated. Yeah. And my lack of period was because I was underweight and I was chronically stressed. And we can talk about stress a bit more and how that interferes with hormone balance as well. So actually, and PCOS it doesn't need to be, and I want to reassure everyone that it doesn't need to be a scary diagnosis, but obviously it can be. So if people are getting diagnosed with PCOS and it is increasing, like it's doubling the amount of diagnosis, which could be because there is an increase in awareness of it, but it also could be of this sort of grey area diagnosis. There's a bit of medical debate about it at the minute, and the problem with sort of labelling someone with something like that, which is a complex, serious condition, is that it can really send people down the wrong path if they're that's not necessarily what they've got as well. So I really recommend getting these comprehensive tests done and having a practitioner, either a functional medicine doctor or someone that really has a passion for women's health, to sit down with you and have that compassion, that empathy, and work on a personalised plan with you. With that, it will give you really strong insights and data, the Dutch test. So that's what I would say. If you feel like you've got an imbalance, then there's lots of sort of ways we can nurture our hormones, which we can go to in as well, with nurturing around the way that we eat, the way that we manage our stress, the way that we manage our sleep, our toxins, everything like that. But if you do feel like you have quite a good life like that, and you feel like there's still an imbalance off, then get a Dutch test.
Definitely invest in that.
Yeah.
So talking of periods, we want to talk a little bit about cycle syncing. How can women start working with their menstrual cycle in terms of energy, exercise, productivity, and nutrition, rather than us all fighting against it?
Yeah, I love this question, and I talk about this quite a lot, actually. I was actually on this morning this morning that they were debating whether boys should be taught about periods. And I was like, yes, of course.
Yeah, they definitely should be.
And it was really quite annoying because I was like, glad that it's on mainstream TV, that there's an awareness around it now that it's got there. But the arguments, all of them sort of agreed that their worry is that boys laugh at periods, so like they might laugh in class. I was like, well, the answer to that is not avoidance. The answer to that is to talk about it more.
Yeah, so it becomes normalised.
But so going on to that is that we are conditioned through school, through life, to like not really, to be sort of slightly embarrassed of our periods.
Yeah.
And to also think of them as a disadvantage, when actually when we sync with them, they can be our power. Like they are a superpower, okay? And cycle syncing, so I'll go through the 4 phases.
The phases, yeah.
So if your follicular phase starts at the beginning of your period, it's actually day 1 of your period. It overlaps slightly with the menstrual cycle, which obviously, your menstrual phase, which obviously starts around there as well. So your follicular phase, estrogen, at the very beginning of it, when your menstrual, like, so when you're just starting your period, both hormones are very low. But then as you go into your follicular phase, which is about the first 12 to 14 days, estrogen's rising. And estrogen makes you feel pretty good. So it's a really good time here for sort of showing up your brain. So at work, particularly like brainstorming and creative thinking, it's quite a creative time, quite a sociable time. It's a really good time for quite high intensity exercise. For taking on challenges, it's a good time then.
Okay.
So if you are going to fast, and I'm a bit apprehensive of fasting sometimes, but if you like fasting, intermittent fasting or anything like that, then your follicular phase would be a safer time to do it because estrogen's rising and progesteron's lower. Now, then you go into ovulatory phase, which is only a few days. That's obviously when you can conceive. And that is when you should be like main character energy. That is when you should be like out there, like going for
out to play.
She is out to play. And that is when you should, like, so again, that work, like that's when you should network. You should be presenting to your clients or to your teams. You should be asking for that pay rise or that promotion. You should go out for after work drinks, that sort of stuff, right? Then as you go into your luteal...
use protection.
Yes, we use protection. If you're going out for after work drinks, yeah. But if you are then when you go into your luteal phase, that's when estrogen starts to dip and progesterone starts to rise. Now, this is a time when you're going to feel most likely a little less social, and it's when you're going to be working a little more inward, but it's a really good time to like get shit done. So like work on accounts, finance, like get work done. So you can see how this works quite nicely with working as well. So let's say you've got a new project, you're brainstorming with your team, you're being quite creative, then you can pitch that project, and then you can pitch the idea, then you can work on the project afterwards or something whilst you're getting stuff done. And in terms of exercise, this is a time when you are more sensitive to stress because cortisol and progesterone share the same precursor hormone, pregnenolone. So if you are too stressed, then cortisol starts to take the precursor off of progesterone, and progesterone isn't produced. So if you are doing I would advise staying away from fast, HIIT workouts, high intensity cardio, fasting, any ice baths, things that put your body under quite a lot of stress, especially if you have quite a stressful life anyway. So yoga, Pilates, weightlifting, walks is a great time for that time as well. Also, as you start to prepare to go into your menstrual phase, increasing your carb intake of complex carbs. Sweet potatoes are a great sort of carb source at this stage to build up the energy for your menstrual phase. And then obviously menstrual phase, that's when your hormones are at the lowest, but it's actually when your right and your left side of the brain talk to each other best ever. So it works, they communicate most strongly than any other phase of your cycle. So it's a real good time for analysis, reflection, introspection. So got, again, a time for a slight pausing. And
is this when you're having your period?
So everyone just thinks, it's my period, like this is a bit of a waste of time. But actually it's a time when you can really be like quite analytical.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah, so it's a great time for journaling and visions and looking back on what you've done.
But is that also because you kind of feel deeper in that time?
Well, you probably feel deep. Yeah, exactly. You're but it's all sort of the cycle of work together, I guess. You feel deeper because of what's going on in your body. Yeah.
Moody bitch.
Because I'm not really emotional ever, but I'm a bit more emotional at that time.
Yeah.
See, I've never really tracked my cycle to the phases before.
No,
Have you
I've
got
not.
any good apps that people can use?
And actually, sorry, I forgot to say this about the beginning of it. You can't track your cycle if you're on hormonal contraception.
Right, yeah, okay.
So if you're on the pill or the hormonal coil or anything like that, the injection, you can't track it, unfortunately. If it makes you feel better to follow that cycle, and especially if you're going to go off it, then actually, if you're going to go off the contraceptive, hormonal contraceptive, it's a great way of like warming your body into that sort of those phases, into that routine and into that structure. But yeah, I use natural cycles, but Flow's another one.
Yeah.
I usually have my Oura Ring on, but it's out of battery. Yes, Oura Ring, good fan, a big fan of Oura Ring. Great for your sleep, stress, everything.
I actually got an email through it yesterday, because they keep updating what you can do on it. And now it's being able to track a woman through her whole pregnancy and, gestational diabetes and everything like that. And it will track everything. And I was like, what? I'm obviously not pregnant now, but I thought that would have been amazing for me to have actually worked a bit better with my body and been in tune about what was actually happening at each phase. And I just thought it was really interesting because I've not really had much time to look into it. But I haven't been on the pill now for about 6-7 years. So I did used to do natural cycles, but I never really looked into the phase, and you've just explained it so clearly to me now. That makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
And how we should work with it rather than against it.
Exactly. And it's also like, look, our body, we can't control every element of our life. Like, yeah, it'd be great if, we didn't have to pitch during our luteal phase or at work, or if we didn't have a friend's birthday during our, or something like that. We can't be, like, I would never, and again, this comes down to sort of my values of, like, life is to be enjoyed, but it can be enjoyed more when you're conscious of what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I think so much empowerment comes from education and awareness. So when you're feeling really low, it's not like, why do I feel like this? It's just understanding and letting your body go with the flow a little bit more. And if you do have busier periods when you don't really feel up to it, well, then where else in your life can you slow down a little bit and nurture yourself a little bit? Because it can be so easy to be like, for example, I've got a friend's birthday weekend, but I'm also got a pitch in the week for work, or a big client meeting, or a busy working week. But I also want to get the gym done, and I also want to and it's okay, well, what areas can you control? So maybe we'll bring down the gym a little bit and be kind to yourself. It's okay to skip the gym that week.
Yeah.
Because you need to get your rest. Rest is so important. So just that awareness and self-compassion a lot as well.
Are you looking to buy your first home and don't know where to start?
Well, don't worry, our friends at Waterman's will do all of that stuff for you.
They won't be packing your boxes for you, but they'll do everything else.
So for straightforward legal advice, remember Waterman's. What's your thoughts on people that take the pill to stop having their period? Like you were saying you did. If they're going on holiday, what is that doing to our bodies? And should we not be doing something like that? There's a pill that you can take to
You
delay
take it for
it.
like a week and it just stops it for
Do you know
a few
much about
days.
that?
Yeah. I'm not. God, I'm a bit on the spot with the whole science of how it works. But what I would say is that I did it actually a couple of years ago, and I really regretted it because of how empowering it is. Because again, it will sort of bring you back. It just dysregulates you again, and it can take you months, years for your body to get back into a rhythm sometimes. And it's all about what like FSH and LH and all of the sort of those hormones that are released from your hypothalamus in your brain, which then trigger you to ovulate or not and everything like that. So that's what it stops. And that process needs to follow harmony. And often we get, because of our lives nowadays, it's very fragile. So I just feel like just to not have a period for the week or holiday, it's probably not worth it. But again, it's up to you. It's totally up to you what you want to do. But yeah, it can take you a while once you come back off it for your body to get back into its rhythm. And actually, once you are in rhythm with your cycle, you don't have the period pains and all of the bloating and everything at the extreme, and the water weight retention. Everything.
I noticed that as well. When I came off, because I went on it because of the PCOS diagnosis. Whether that was true or not, I don't know. But when I started coming off it and having regular, almost to the day, people used to say to me that they would struggle with real PMS. I never had that. and I don't know if it was because of maybe what I was eating or maybe the fact that I was just not on contraceptive pill. I was definitely not having, dreading that month to come ever.
No, exactly. And
it was heavy,
I know what it feels like to be like, oh my God, my period's coming up and I'm on holiday that week. I'm going to feel really fat. I'm going to feel really like, well, not even fat, but just bloated. Heavy. I'm not going to feel like myself. And the thing is, the pill is only just masking that, really. You're not going to necessarily feel loads better. But also, once you get into that rhythm, that doesn't come with it. All those nasty side effects start to wean off, and you can still have that flat stomach and that. And there's also tips of how to promote your lymphatic drainage and flush out sort of excess water.
We're big lymphatic fans over here.
Yeah.
Stress and burnout then, for the high achieving women juggling career, family and everything else, what's the link between chronic stress, burnout and hormone health?
Yeah, so like we touched on earlier, cortisol steals progesterone, it steals pregnenolone, which makes progesterone. And then that can also lead to estrogen dominance, which raises its head in various things like PMS. So yeah, I think often with high achievers, we think that we can't rest, that it's lazy to rest, and that we can never slow down. But if we don't slow down, then our bodies will make us slow down eventually.
Yeah.
And then with stress, so obviously our bodies, our stress response is fight or flight. And back in the day, that was like a lion coming towards you. And your body would release a lot of blood into the system, a lot of sugar into the blood system, ready to use it, ready for it to be used as energy to either fight or run away from a lion. So nowadays, that's just a scary email that's coming into your inbox. So that sugar is just circulating in your blood, which then causes...
Is that when you get like a bit of a rush in your body and a hot face and a bit of a panicky
exactly.
feeling
And
in
your heart
chest?
rate goes up because that's adrenaline. So your body releases sugar into your bloodstream, like I said, and that isn't being used. So then it gets absorbed back into the body or just hangs around in the bloodstream, which then obviously over time can lead to insulin resistance.
Right.
Insulin resistance is one of our main triggers to PCOS, or there's a symbiotic relationship between insulin resistance and PCOS. Why people with PCOS have to have good blood sugar management. Stress also, it comes down to like the obvious in terms of if you had to fight a lion off, your body doesn't need to be having babies. So it will shut that off. It shuts anything else on that isn't survival in that moment.
My God.
So it will shut off the need to be used, like to be reproducing, to digesting food, anything like that.
It's wild.
So, which is fine if it's really short, because when you used to fight that lion, it didn't used to last very long. Then you would go, oh, thank God that's gone. Yeah. But nowadays it's like, oh, there's an email, there's this, there's that, we're just chronically stressed all the time. Or if it doesn't even feel like stress, it's alertness. Your Aura ring actually tells you that. And I find quite interesting is it like...
It says that I'm in stress all day.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just because I've got a child. But I looked at it yesterday and it was like, you need to rest. Like your body has been in stress. But in my head, it's strange because I don't feel like the typical, I'm stressed. But maybe it's just doing far too much and not being able to actually just rest and do nothing, because I physically can't at the minute because I'm keeping a human alive and as well as doing everything else. But it's really interesting reading it because it's like, how does that know that I'm stressed, but I don't know if I feel it? So maybe that's why a lot of people, they have no idea why they're putting on this weight and why not, but it's because, I
don't really ever feel overly stressed, but I know I am. Yeah. If you know what I mean? Like I'm never like
frantic.
Yeah. But I must be stressed because I'm in a stressful situation.
Yeah.
You know when you've got a lot to do
as well. So we're always alert. And we're alert from the beginning, and that is an element of stress as well on the body. Is that we're already ready. Like as soon as we wake up, we're checking our phones, and we do that until we go to bed, and we're always on. So that is an element of stress as well on our bodies, even if it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm really worried about something. Yeah. It's just being on all the time.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that we all pick our phones up the first thing in the morning, but
I'm really trying to stop doing that.
It's hard because I look at it for the time. I'm like, oh, what time it is? Then it's a notification like, oh, what's that?
And I bring back the old school alarm clock, so...
But we could have them, but we don't.
We don't.
Like, we've still got the option to not be on our phones, but we choose the phone anyway.
Yeah, it is very frustrating. And social media, you're just always on, aren't you? Your brain's never fully, the tabs are open.
The tabs are open. And also stress obviously impacts our sleep. And that's really crucial as well for regulating our whole body. Sleep is so important for detoxification, for processing, for repair and regulation. So in the morning, if you haven't got enough sleep, your body's going to crave sugar more. So then you're going to eat worse. And if you're eating worse, then that's going to impact your hormones as well, your metabolism and everything. So
are you an 8 hours is enough, or do you not believe in that?
Yeah, 8 hours is a good amount of time. And I think like 7 to 9 is a good window. Yeah. If you're getting less than that regularly, and I know it's really hard when you have a baby, and sometimes there's just the short bits of your life.
It's more broken sleep for me.
It's broken sleep, yeah. And wherever you can, if you can nap in the day, great. But yeah, 8 hours really is good for women because we have so many different cycles within that sleep. So if we're skipping bits of it, the last part of your sleep is when you really process emotions. So if you're that's why you find you're really tetchy in the morning if you haven't got that last few hours, because your body hasn't like processed your emotions properly.
Right.
Which is scary because a lot of women in that Margaret Thatcher, she's like, I live on 5 hours sleep, I'm fine. It's like, well, that's not great that people that are quite emotionally dysregulated are running the country. So it's like, it's not a badge of honour to not get enough sleep. It's a badge of honour to get loads of sleep, like, and be proud of it. Yeah, because sleep literally regulates everything in our life. So
yeah, because I feel like my good sleep when I feel the best is actually probably about 7 hours. If I go into like 8-9 hours, I feel like overtired. Like I wake up and I've overslept. This comes back
to learning what works for you as well, right? And it's like these are guidelines, so it's working what works. And even with cycle sync, and I had a client the other day, and we were discussing this, and she said, "I've been trying to follow cycle syncing, and I'm finding that I'm working against my body in some ways by trying to cycle sync." And I was like, cycle sync is it's if you're struggling with your hormones and you feel like something's really out of whack, it's a guide there to maybe help you get back onto path, but it's not like a Bible for us to be following. Yeah. And if you feel like you feel really good exercising during your luteal phase and going for a run or getting up at 5 or doing whatever it is, and that's working for you, then do that.
That's fine, yeah.
Like we have to follow our own guide, and we've lost that a little bit.
Yeah, I think as well, not everyone struggles with it. So if you're fine, don't try and change it.
Everyone has different levels of resilience as well. So some people can have more stressful lives than others, and that's fine as well. So
yeah, totally. Just going back to the Oura ring on the sleep, I got a notification as well that if you wear it for a certain period of time, it's like, this is what we think is your best time to sleep. It actually works it out where the best performing day has been from you sleeping X amount.
Right, okay. Mm-hmm.
So you just need to wear it consistently, but it's quite interesting. The famous word that everyone talks about, and I'm fascinated by it, but gut hormone connection. So we hear a lot about gut health right now. We also hear a lot about cortisol. I see that all over social media. But how closely is gut health tied to hormone balance?
In so many ways.
It's like our second brain.
Yes. Well, on that one then, if we start with that, obviously there's the gut-brain axis. They communicate with each other via the vagus nerve. And pretty much it's whether we're in rest and digest or fight or flight. So whether we're in our parasympathetic nervous state, which is our rest and digest, or our sympathetic nervous state, which is our fight or flight, so our stress sort of response. If our gut is stressed, our brain will be stressed. And we've just spoken about how stress impacts your hormones. Yeah. So that's an obvious one. But also our gut has a group of microbes called estrobolome, which are responsible for metabolizing estrogen. So if that's out of whack, then we are not metabolizing and excreting excess estrogen, and that can lead to estrogen dominance, which we spoke about again as well. And also our bodies need a diversity and an abundance of minerals, vitamins, nutrients in order to produce hormones. So that's the gateway. Our gut is the gateway to absorbing those nutrients. If our gut is in dysbiosis, imbalance, we've got anything sort of concerns down there, then we're not going to be absorbing those nutrients properly. We're also, if we've got something like leaky gut, we're going to be releasing toxins into our bloodstream, and that's also going to cause imbalances.
What's leaky gut?
So
Is that like farts?
Well, kind of, yeah. So we've got our gut. If you imagine it's sort of like a pair of tights. And if you imagine that we're squishing something sort of like some mushed up paper or something like sort of squishy going down it, and our gut kind of like contracts and relaxes, and obviously pushes it out. That has to have a strong wall for things to not like go out of it, right?
Yeah.
If there's breaks in the tights, some tears in the tights,
It's
then
leaking
bits
out.
would come out. So that's what happens. Yeah. So that could be food particles that aren't supposed to be floating back into our bloodstream.
Ew, that
things
makes
like
me feel weird.
Yes.
How can we fix a
and
leaky gut then?
through a protocol. So we want to repair it. So we need to, well, first of all, again, test, don't guess, because the problem is there are so many different gut health issues out there. Gut dysbiosis, which is pretty much an imbalance. Leaky gut, which is tears in the wall. There is SIBO. There is candidas. There's all sorts of different things. So they all can need slightly different protocols to some
I used
degree.
to say I had candida.
Or like a badge of honour.
Because I always get urine infections, and someone said something like, you've got candida, and I was like, what's candida? And then anytime I had a urine infection in work, I'd be like, I've got candida again.
Gotta go home.
Well, I mean, potentially. If you always get thrush is a big sign of candida.
I don't get thrush.
Right, just a urine infection.
But I get infection, yeah, all
Still?
the time.
Yeah, she does.
Okay, well, maybe we can talk about that afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, so tests. So stool tests. Big fan of the stool test. That will come back and that will test for parasites as well, and any of those other sort of. And then the imbalance. We want to have more good bacteria than bad bacteria, and we also need a diversity of bacteria. So it's all good and well having like. Let's say you hit your fibre goals. Hitting fibre goals is really important for gut health because the plants will feed the microbes in there. But it's a diversity. So if you hit like 30 grams just eating broccoli every single day, that's not going to be diverse enough. So eat the rainbow.
Yes.
It's the easiest way to get enough diversity in. I love looking at how many colours are on my plate, and especially if you have children. It's a really exciting way of getting them involved in eating their vegetables and fruits as well. But like, how many colours have you had today? And they'll be like greens, and they all do different things as well. And all the colours do different things to our bodies as well.
So I'm actually weaning Jensen at the moment, and I've read a lot about the gut microbiome and everything, and how important it is between 6 to 12 months, and building that for them and giving them a real range, diverse of vegetables, everything at the beginning.
And even when you're pregnant, ensuring that your
Although
microbiome
I think I
is
lived off
healthy.
chicken Kiev, but you know what?
I have heard the beige diet comes in, yeah. And your gut microbes, there's trillions of bacteria. We are more bacteria than we are human cells. Like we are more bacteria. We're just living trillions of bacteria. It's quite gross thinking about it, but you know, so we need to feed them and feed them in the right ways. So repairing it as well. So things that are going to help repair that leaky gut: bone broth, things with collagen, bones broths, L-glutamine powder. Bone broth is amazing as well because it's just good for your skin, your hair, everything, protein in it. And like I say, eating fibres, but fibre, like if you've got something like SIBO, then eating a load of raw veg and loads and loads of fibre is just not, it's going to actually like cause more of like issues to begin with. So we have to have a different protocol for that. Lots of sort of elimination diets and reintroductions and all sort of, things like that. So get tests, get tested, work with a practitioner to give you on a good path. 100% probiotic foods. But I would recommend that people get fermented foods. Yes, I had some last night, as you know. Really good. So kombuchas, kefirs, sauerkrauts, kimchis, pickles, really, really good. Probiotic yogurts. And then I would say get them through food before you get them through supplements, if you can. If you really hate all those foods, then supplements are great. And again, I would do your research on them because there's so many supplements out there as well that die before they even hit your gut. So
Zoe's been taking the nutritionist one, Ep19.
Yeah, Ep19. Yeah, cool. Have you felt like a difference?
Yeah, I actually have.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about that one.
When I started, I was like on and off consistency, and I think the first couple of weeks it does kind of make you feel quite gassy and almost bloated before obviously it gets better. But I've been consistent with it now for maybe 4 or 5 weeks, and I've not really had any issues.
And that's another thing that you say, with probiotics, there are some ones on the market like that, they're pretty safe, but don't go, this is why it's great to have a practitioner help you with it, because there's some that can cause more issues because they can be too strong for people, the wrong strains, and especially if you have got something quite serious going on, then the wrong strains can disrupt it further. And going back to that gut-brain axis, how to heal the gut, minimise stress. That is the biggest cause for IBS and symptoms of bloating and stress down there.
Well, I was actually saying, which is so funny, that when I was still at work, and I feel like I've got a more stressful situation now because it's my own business, but I don't know if it's because I do it in my own time in the comfort of my home and everything, I'm probably less stressed in a way still. But when I was in the office all the time, I always had the big swollen belly and like terrible pain, like all day, going home on the train and everything, like constantly keeled over. Trapped wind really was the main issue, and that was causing that pain, and I really don't get it that much anymore.
Post birth control, for any of our listeners that are thinking about coming off the pill, but they're concerned because they're maybe worried, oh my God, I don't want to have acne again, or maybe it's controlling their periods. There's so many reasons as to why a lot of people go on the pill.
Yeah.
But they're too scared to then come off it for obvious reasons. So for the women that are coming off the hormonal contraception, what should they know about supporting their body during that transition?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is worth noting that, and this is why it can be good to have support from a healthcare provider during this time, is that anything that you went on the pill for, it was masking it. It has not helped solve it. So acne, painful periods, anything like that, they're still going to be there and they can come back worse.
Okay.
So be prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's having the courage to deal, and the support to deal with the root cause. So I would definitely start working with someone to have a weaning off period plan. So weaning off the pill period plan.
Yeah.
So they can support you. I think cycle syncing is a great way to start getting yourself into that phase to begin with. So with my clients, we're like, okay, I want to come off it in 3-6 months. We start to work, well, first of all, hopefully we've been working on what the root cause was to begin with. So we definitely want to find out what that was. So if someone said I went on it because I had acne, we were like, okay, well, during the time whilst you're still on it, let's work on some lifestyle changes on how to help to get to the root cause of that, and heal it. And then when you're coming off it, we could also start with the cycle syncing, the phasing and everything like that to support it.
A lot of females are embarrassed talking about concerns of vaginal health, such as periods, spotting, smells, especially symptoms as BV, bacterial vaginosis. How and why are they impacted by our hormones?
Again, it comes from usually an estrogen dominance, but it could also be gut health as well, and again, things not getting detoxified properly. Again, you'd have to get tested, but there is no fear in this. And again, this is part of my mission, is everyone needs to talk about it all more. So yeah, the more we all talk about it, the more that we'll find the root causes of all of this.
Yeah, agree.
I do just feel like TikTok's doing that thing now where it's like, let's all talk about the smells down there and all that.
And then they give you the probiotic and then it goes overnight or something.
But loads of people are trying to talk about.
So there are
normal.
probiotics specifically, again, with let's say you've got something like candida, or you're getting kind of starch, there's a bit of imbalance in that's linked to your gut as well. So working on a specific probiotic can help.
Because isn't it when you have BV that you're basically, there's an imbalance with the pH imbalance?
pH band, yeah.
Because I used to suffer from it a lot when I was a teenager, and it was never spoken about. There was nothing really around back then. So you would just be like, oh my God, what is that smell? And I used to be so embarrassed because I'd over clean. So I'd use the most overly scented things and I was clean. But I was like, well, I don't understand.
Yes, so that's a really good point actually around all of the microplastics and the chemicals and artificial ingredients that are in all of our beauty products and our washes and everything like that. So actually we don't need to be washing anything. We don't need to be washing it down there with anything more than water, really.
But it's weird because it's not like something you're taught really when you were young. Obviously you're taught to wash, but it's never really told, you could use FemFresh, but then all over the internet, it's like, don't use FemFresh. It's terrible for you.
Is FemFresh good or bad?
No, it won't be good for you, no.
I don't actually use that anymore either. I just always use something that's 0%.
0%. Yeah, I use, what's the one that I love?
Sanex.
Yeah.
Sanex, that's a great one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll keep
using that. It's a
great
great body wash in general. But again, so we need to be careful of toxic load for balancing our hormones as well. So it's worse for women because A man usually just, if he even uses a moisturiser, uses one moisturiser. That's pretty much what he does.
Yeah.
And maybe a bit of something in his hair and a spritz of perfume. Whereas we have, like, I've probably got about 25 products on my face and my hair right now. And then moisturisers and then perfumes and all these various different things. And they can have toxins in them that can be endocrine disruptors. So they can really interfere with our endocrine system, so our hormone balance.
Yeah.
So again, it's being a bit conscious of that. And then, again, like, I'd never want to scare my clients into thinking, God, I need to like throw out everything and I only can have non-toxic products. But it's just being aware of the build-up of them.
Okay.
So if you've got a favourite foundation that you like love and it has got something, the Yucca app, I recommend everyone gets the Yucca app. You can scan the products there for things that are harmful. And let's say you've got a foundation, it comes up with like a bit of a moderate risk. You're like, oh, well then just make sure your other ones are good.
Yeah.
You know?
Not all high risk.
And that your cleaning products around your house as well, that's another one. Your candles, they're one of the worst for burning.
Yeah, I've heard that the neon candles are the best.
Neon's good, yeah.
And Method is good cleaning products, is that right?
Well, I actually get, just to make my life easier, I go on everything now online and just get a subscription service. So
Right.
Life Supplies is a great one. And my mind's gone blank for the others. But if you go online, there's lots of subscription models for non-toxic homeware, cleaning products, everything like that. Yeah. And so that you just like your dishwasher tablets, your washing powders, everything that just come through the door and everything.
Because it is wild, because I was reading that about dishwasher tablets as well. There's things that wash your plates and it's so toxic. But then you think about your skin, it's the biggest cell on your body, and then you are rubbing so much shit into it all day every day. You're just thinking, oh, it's fine. But of course it's going to go into you at somehow, isn't it?
Well,
It's the
going
biggest
somewhere.
organ
It's
of your body.
absorbing.
Yeah, it's the biggest organ in your body. So yeah. Ecovera, I think that's another good one. Yeah, that's the one you can get in supermarkets.
What deodorant do you use?
I use Fussy.
Oh, yeah.
Fussy. So I was about to say Wild. I didn't really like Wild too much. I think it's Wild. Is that one?
Yeah, it's wild, yeah.
I wasn't as fun at that, but Fussy, I feel like it works really, really well.
Right, we have quite a lot of questions from our listeners over on Patreon, which we want to bring you over to Side Dish with us, especially women asking us questions about endometriosis and PCOS. So we'll save that for the extra episode if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about perimenopause and beyond. So can you tell us, more women are opening up about it. What are some empowering ways to approach this stage in life rather than dreading it?
It's a beautiful time for new change. I think a lot of women are coming out now, like people like Davina McCall, and they're saying this is like an era where you can enter a new chapter.
Yeah.
Often people are entering new chapters of their life. Perhaps their children are growing up or fled the nest as well. It's a time for introspection. It's a time for reflection. It's a time for renewal. And a lot of women are saying it can be for some of the best years of your life post that. What I would say in terms of getting through it, or it's not just getting through it, it's educating yourself. It's empowering. If you educate yourself, that's empowering. To know how to nurture yourself to feel at your strongest. So that is stress management is really important at this stage, because obviously the impact of your hormones is going to be all over the place. They're going to be coming in and out and like fluctuating so much. So and stress will heighten that. So ensuring that your stress is under management, and that will also help with hot flashes. And then there's certain ingredients as well that you can introduce to your diet. Pomegranates, maca, they will help with hot flashes.
Really?
Yeah. Ensuring that you're keeping up with weight training and protein to ensure that your muscles, because when your estrogen levels drop, it affects your bone health. So it's really important to weight lift because that helps with bone density and your muscle starts to disintegrate quicker. That sounds like a really horrible
Do you know what
word.
I think the issue is, kind of like in the people who are going through it now probably, is that they didn't have this information at our age.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
totally.
mean? So like they're going into it not really probably, obviously this doesn't go for everyone, there is really healthy people out there, but they've not been eating the things we'll start eating. They're not taking care of their body the way we are. They're not going to the gym as much. All those things that probably put us in a healthier start to that stage, they're not at that.
But they'll just be going to Boots and reaching for that menopause
But that's
packet
what I mean.
of supplements and be like, right, that'll be fine.
But they're not
HRT,
maybe as
things like that.
clued up about it. Whereas I think when it kind of comes to our time, it'll probably have a shift of people can possibly cope with it better.
Yeah.
Or know what to do.
And just the more that the people can talk about it.
Yeah.
There's been such like a taboo around it and some shame around people feeling like this in the workplace or in, in their relationships or anything. And just, again, feeling really lost and confused.
Yeah.
So it's having that sort of conversations. Support networks at this stage are really important. So ensuring that you're, again, just finding your people and have people to reach out to and enjoy this moment of your life with.
Right, so we've got some quick fire questions that we're going to end on, a bit more fun, but quickly. Share with us your top supplements and brands that you are loving right now and ones that you think are marketing gimmicks.
Ah, yes, okay. I really like this one called ZZZ, like Z's, like sleeping Z's, by Form at the minute. It has magnesium, citrate, L-theanine, I can't remember every ingredient, but it all helps with aging, 5-HTP, all helps with like just calming. Okay. And I feel like I'm sleeping really well. Like my sleep's usually really good, but that one's really, really working really well. So if you're suffering from any sleep, that can help. I am actually just becoming a brand ambassador and investor into a new brand that's launching soon called Roller Coaster, which is cycle syncing bars. So they're going to be food bars that are there's 4 bars all in alignment with your menstrual phase.
That's cool.
So that's exciting. So we'll be a fan of that when it launches. And gimmicks, electrolytes.
Really? I love an electrolyte. Tell me now.
Actually, in pregnancy, you're more dehydrated. So they've actually you're like, okay, thank you.
Okay, fine. Himantra is what we take.
Yeah. So most of us, if we are sitting at a desk most of the day or, you know, we're not exerting extreme amounts of energy, we're not endurance athletes, we're not hungover. Like if we're hungover, if you're an endurance athlete, possibly more when you're in postnatal, or if you have some sort of kidney failure or any sort of other health condition that you've been told that you need electrolytes for, the majority of us can get them through our diet, especially fruits and vegetables. So the minerals that we can get through that are from, so having a banana and a glass of good water after exercise is probably going to do just as good than a fancy electrolyte, which costs you £5 for 5 of them or something. And the only other reason, if you're following a keto diet and you're not getting many fruits or vegetables as well, that might be another reason. But the majority of us probably not going to need them every day.
Yeah, because I feel like most people just take them because they don't drink enough water, and I'm like, just drink more water then.
Yeah.
Like, see, because I got some because everyone was buying them, to be honest. And anytime I go to put it in, I don't really like the taste, so that doesn't help. I think just down this water without putting it in it. Like,
and careful, there are some really good ones out there that don't have nasty ingredients, but some of them can have loads of artificial sweeteners and things like that. And it's and you're actually doing yourself a disfavour. So like just a banana and water after workout or before workout. Like,
what's your thoughts on creatine?
I love creatine. Yeah, women actually need it more than men. Yeah. Like loads of scientific studies to prove that it does help with maintaining muscle. Actually, specifically through perimenopause and menopause, because you lose muscle at a faster rate. So anything that you can do to help build that.
I'm taking one at the moment by a brand called Thorn.
Thorn, great. Yeah. Anything that's on health.
Yeah. We love it.
Health is usually good. Yeah, because it's been sort of verified.
So anything exciting coming up for you? What's next?
Yeah, so what's next? So I'm really excited to build the community side of Balanced Boss. So I've got retreats on the way. I'm going to be doing some group coaching, in-person events, like one-day retreats, etc.
Can we come?
Absolutely.
We'll
Top
be
of the
there.
list.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, and obviously I can let your listeners know when they're ready. And building Roller Coaster, I've been involved in that business as well. That should be cool. We should be launching that towards the end of the year.
That's so exciting.
And can you do digital, like appointments?
Yes, so I do mainly virtual. So yeah, if you would like to work with me or hear from me, I'm on Instagram @_balancedboss_. That's just my health coaching. If you want to see my personal life as well and what I get up to day to day and the navigating business and health and all of that, then it's George Ellen Smith. My website is balanced-boss.com, and I offer a signature 12-week coaching program on there. We can also do 6 months or a smaller package. Yeah, and it's all one-to-one, access to me every other week, reasonably every day.
That's so good.
Yeah, resources and everything from there. So yeah.
We're going to finish with some really fun quick fire questions.
Right. What's the very first thing you do when you wake up?
Cuddle my puppy.
Serotonin.
Serotonin, oxytocin.
Do they sleep in your bed?
No, he doesn't. He's too restless. He sleeps under the bed at the minute. But then the second, I guess, more health. Well, yeah, I mean, it is healthy, but I get outside. Really important to get sunlight in my eyes.
Nature's caffeine, so they say.
Nature's caffeine. I don't drink caffeine, so that is what I have.
Oh, do you not?
No, I found that my body regulates better without it.
Well, that was the next question, coffee or matcha? Do you drink matcha?
Yeah, but it's still not until later in the day.
What milk do you have?
Maybe midday. I have almond, but only if it's Plenish, which has no other artificial ingredients in it, no gums or anything like that.
Love it. Very fancy. Favourite hormone-friendly snack? If you could pick one, what's your top snack for balanced energy?
Roller coaster.
Oh, yeah, will be roller coaster. But right now it's Greek yogurt with flaxseed. Well, if it's my follicular phase, flax seeds, chia seeds and berries, frozen berries. Frozen berries actually have more nutrients in them than fresh most of the time because they've been picked at Markets and frozen. Unlike so that's...
hell.
But what I know this is meant to be quick fire, right? But I think about this a lot, and I could have just asked before now. But if I'm having, because I have yogurt quite a lot in the morning, do I need to leave my berries out then for them to defrost, or do they defrost quickly?
No, I mean they defrost quite quickly, but I like it quite crunchy. So it depends what your preference
I would be happy with that, but I've always just wondered.
Yeah, it turns into like an ice cream. It's nice.
Yeah, like I'm putting a big frozen strawberry in that. Is it going to still be ice at the end of it?
A frozen strawberry might need a bit of thawing out.
Some blueberries. Some blueberries is fine. Movement of choice: Pilates, yoga, lifting, or a good walk.
Depends what phase I'm in, but lifting, I'd have to pick.
Really? Why?
Because it just does your body so good. Muscle is so important for us girls. If there's people out there like, oh, I don't care about muscle, I'll just lose loads of weight and it doesn't matter if I'm losing muscle too.
No, because then you're saggy.
But your muscle controls your metabolism. So it's really, really important. And it controls your bone health. Health needs to be thinking about long term. It's not just about what you look like. It's about being able to play with your grandkids and maybe grandkids and, live.
Absolutely.
I love my life. I want to live as long as possible and have the best health.
You go to the gym and you actually do like squats, all that jazz.
I lift weights 3 times a week and
How many times do you do Pilates?
Twice. Yeah. Reformer, yeah. But I think Matt's actually harder in some ways.
I think Matt's harder too.
Yeah. So whatever you can do at home, whatever. And then walking, actually, I do every day. I get limb steps in every day.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what's your thoughts on, does it need to be 10,000 steps a day?
No, it doesn't need to be 10. I think there's loads of science in 5 to 7 as well. That's right.
Fucking hell, I'm taking this as gospel.
Yeah. No, I feel especially if I've done a workout as well, see if I'm at 7,000, like I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
so
that's
that whole hour loop walk is 6,000 steps. You're telling me people have more time to do that? We ain't got time to do that.
But also, I've not got anything on me to take my dog constantly out and whatever, so I'm just tracking a walk.
Yeah.
Like there's more.
It does help when you have purpose, right? Yeah. Like I love the fact that living in London, I need to go to the shop to get my dinner. It's like, that's another few thousand steps. Like, yeah. But if you don't have that, then if you haven't got time to do mountain walking, stand up more. Sitting's what is killing us. Yeah. So stand up, and you haven't got a standing desk to do work and put it on the ironing board, put kitchen service, just stand up for a bit. Do some squats whilst you're at the kettles. Just move your body when you can, where you can. 5-minute breaks throughout the day.
Stretching.
Yeah, love that tip. Guilty pleasure. What's one indulgence you'll never give up?
Reality TV.
Yeah, what do you love?
Real House of Beverly Hills, absolutely. OG. And look, every year I say I'm not going to watch it, but I just get so stuck into Love Island. I'm sorry.
I'm a reality TV girl as well.
You know what it is? I'm so busy all day. I get decision fatigue by the evening that I just can sit there and be like,
decision fatigue. I love that.
It's true. Decision fatigue is true. That's why Steve Jobs. Yes. Steve Jobs used to wear the same outfit every day because he had loads of other decisions to make during the day.
Really?
Yeah, it's a true fact. It's a decision fatigue. Your brain can only make a certain amount of decisions. So especially if you're in quite a high pressured top job or anything like that, or your mum, you have to make those decisions, whatever it might be. Make your life easier. Sometimes that also means just eating the same foods every day in a bit of circulation, rather than having to think all the time. Like there's certain Instagram profiles out there that I love. I won't name them because what I'm about to say is like I just feel like they're quite unrealistic sometimes. Like I save so many recipes on there, and I'm like, oh, these are amazing. And they're really good, and I just never get around because I'm too busy. So I just have my basic balance plate.
You just have what works for you.
And to have a balanced plate as well, rather than, because I'm not a calorie counter, but a balanced plater, portion control. Mm-hmm. Like if you think about sort of a quarter of your plate being protein, quarter being, just under a quarter being like a complex carbohydrate, the sort of sliver that's left from that quarter being fats and the rest vegetables, then that gives you like a good idea of sort of what you should be eating.
Stunning.
Very helpful. What's your self-care non-negotiable? One thing you always make sure you've got time for, no matter how busy you are.
We love
Movement.
products.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Again, well, I'm
Movement. I'm like,
product. Yeah, this is the problem.
no, movement was the great answer.
I'm quite. Someone actually asked me the other day. They said, "What's your skincare routine? Why is your skin always so glossy?" I was like, "You're really going to be disappointed because I don't have one. I literally barely use. I wash my face with a usually Clinique wash the day away or a Vino cleanser or something like that. Just a cleanser, and I wear a bit of moisturiser and SPF in the day.
That's because you're so healthy within.
That's it. It's all about looking after your gut, looking after
Less is more.
So again,
product-wise.
I'm not really a big supplement person. I think supplements they're a cherry on top of a very robust cake.
Yeah.
If you've got all of your foundations in place, and then you can need them. And again, some people need more than others, and that's where the sort of testing comes in. And sometimes supplements are really needed to get yourself out of places. But really, if you're looking after yourself and doing all the boring, unsexy stuff, moving every day, then
I mean, it makes total sense.
Of course it bloody does.
Which doesn't sell as well. Yeah.
Have you got a favourite podcast, book or social account that you think everyone else should be looking at or taking in, reading, listening to?
So Dr. Hyman, he is my favourite. He was my favourite lecturer at college, and I've continued to listen to him since then. He's on socials, he's got a podcast, he's a functional medicine doctor, and he just says it how it is. And real science-backed information.
Love that.
Love it.
I'll check him out for sure. We'll add it to the newsletter, guys.
Your dream dinner guests, if you could have 3 women alive or historical, dead, who would you choose?
And what are you eating at the dinner?
Maya Jama.
Yeah. Love.
Okay.
Helen Mirren.
Legend.
Just legend. And probably like Emma Greed. Quite a little bit of her.
Yeah,
She's
I
a
like
boss
her.
bitch.
Boss bitch energies. Maya for the fun. Helen for the stories.
Yeah.
And Emma for the advice.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. Great
And then
mix.
what are we eating? We are eating, I mean, if this is sort of like whatever goes, right?
Yeah, whatever
Health
goes.
out the window. Although I do, and actually, now I say that, this is pretty healthy because I just love healthy food. And this also happens when you start just looking after yourself, your body starts, because the microbes in your gut that used to love sugar and things like that start to die off.
It all changes, doesn't it?
It all
Yeah.
changes. So to start with, I mean, I'm a butter fiend. I love butter. So really, really rich, salty butter with sourdough bread, slightly toasted.
Yum.
Just big chunky hunks of that. And with prawns in loads of olive oil and garlic and chilli. So
Yeah,
dunk
we
it
love
all in
that.
that, right? Oh. Then just mains, it would be like a mix of lots of things. Like I love I get quite bored of like one big dish. It would be like a massive grilled sea bass with loads of varieties of sides.
Preferably in Ibiza.
Yeah,
At a beach
like
club.
salted. Yes, exactly.
Yum.
Delivered from Ibiza. Perhaps actually in Ibiza, I am on a beach. Yeah, rather than delivered from there. On a beach club. Rosé flowing.
Yeah. What's your favourite rosé?
Whatever they sell, honestly.
Yeah.
I would say
Provence,
Whispering Angel.
please.
Just it has to be a Provence. Yeah,
Yeah.
no Zinfandel here. Grew out of that many years ago. So just a Provence rosé, yeah. And then lots of sides. You know, you've got like your grilled asparagus, you've got
Yes.
your like crunchy potatoes
Yeah.
with parmesan on them, great salad, all of that. And then for dessert, just tequila shots. But I'm not a dessert person, so I'd probably go straight into something like that.
Would you?
Or a espresso martini, something like that. I'm just
Like a dessert drink.
or what I'm obsessed with at home at the minute, and I feel like most of Instagram is dates stuffed with peanut butter,
Chocolate.
salt and chocolate. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, unbelievable. But it has to be really dark chocolate, and yeah, that's that.
Let's finish on, do you have a quote or saying that you live by?
Yes, it's PR, not ER. Now, this comes from my PR days where, you know, you feel like everything's so stressful, and most of the time we are not saving lives, so we just need to take a pause and a breather and realize that like everything's going to be okay.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're amazing.
It's
I really
so
think that'll
fun.
be so
I feel like
helpful.
I'm going to just speak forever and ever and ever. But
I know. It's mental how fast the time goes, by the way, on this podcast.
Yeah, it's wild.
It is wild.
There's so much to talk about in this topic.
Well, we've got more to talk about when we move over to Side Dish quickly, because you have a train to catch. Make sure that you remember to follow Georgia on all of our socials. We'll make sure we add it to the newsletter, but it's also in the description of this episode. Please also remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube, our Spotify, wherever you listen to this podcast. And thank you so much for listening. We've absolutely loved having you on as our guest. You've been wonderful, so knowledgeable, and
Loved
we're
it.
going to be absolute balanced boss bitches.
Absolutely. The BBBs.
Give you a clap.
BBs.
Yay!
Yay, thank you.
Welcome back anytime.
Oh, I'd love to come.
See you on Side Dish. Thank you.
We'll see you next week. Bye.